Brooklyn Independent Television.
This is our own village. No one treats you cruel.
I first got involved with choral directing when a friend of mine from New Jersey asked me to come out to Montclair and direct a group of women who had gathered together to form a chorus. I had never directed a chorus before, but something made me say, okay. Sometimes I would imagine myself as Leonard Bernstein, you know. We had performed at the Good Coffee House up at the Brooklyn Society for Ethical Culture. A woman who was running the Good Coffee House invited me to come and start a chorus at the Brooklyn Society for Ethical Culture, where I've now been for 15 years directing the Brooklyn Women's Chorus. There was a woman who was on the staff at the food co-op, the Brooklyn Food Co-op, Park Slope Food Co-op over there on Union Street, who got the word out through the food co-op, and you just, you know, you say there's a chorus, people come, you know. So people came. We did a performance last year about immigration. We called it Mother of Exiles. And it went into the history of immigration in this country, you know, with the Statue of Liberty and the Emma Lazarus poem, Give Me Your Tired, You're Poor.
Mama, I see flames.
I'm going to sing my part against that because I've never heard this. So the thing I love about the chorus the most is the fact that there's no auditions. People come in with all different levels of singing ability, some with none. And the process of doing it and sitting a person who can't match tone, you know, who can't, next to someone who can and who knows the parts, people start, it's an exercise. It's a muscle they never exercised, and it's a training their ear to hear in a way they never did. But they learn, and they learn, and when they do and when they discover their voice, it's just like, it's amazing, you know? There are tears sometimes, there's tremendous joy, and, you know, we all recognize when that happens. With my two older sisters, we had a trio called the Miller Sisters, and we appeared on local TV shows, and my dad was our manager. And, you know, the older one got married, and the next one went off somewhere, so I stopped playing. And I didn't get back into playing until I was finally on my own and started to get a more developed political consciousness. I was aware of the Vietnam War. My next door neighbor and I became friends and then lovers, and we went to demonstrations against the war. I discovered the women's liberation movement, which was this huge, huge epiphany for me to understand the confusion I felt about who I was. I mean, I grew up in a part of Portland that there were no Jews, and the Catholic family on the corner wouldn't allow their children. They could play with me outside, but I couldn't come in because I was a Jew, you know. But my mother wasn't Jewish. So it was like all this kind of like, who am I, you know? I came to New York City in my early 20s. I started to do music again, pretty much related to the fact that I had begun to get politicized by the Vietnam War and then by the women's liberation movement. And I started a band called The Human Condition. The first songs were like, take it to the streets, you know, very, you know, we're going to make the revolution. then I started writing more personal songs about women's issues. I wrote a song based on a woman's story that we were making a film about called Janie's Janie, you know, and it was about a working class woman in Ironbound, New Jersey, who had finally left her husband, you know, after, you know, years of unhappiness. And the chorus said, "My name is Janie, yeah, that's me, but I ain't like I used to be. I'm Janie's Janie, not Daddy's Janie, not Charlie's Janie. I'm Janie's Janie." And that resonated with me, you know.
I'm Janie's
In the women's movement, I didn't go with that more radical feminist faction because I found them kind of humorless. It was not my vision, but there were other women in the group. We kind of got into guerrilla theater stuff, you know, actions. We wanted to be out there, so we called ourselves WITCH, Women's International Terrorist Conspiracy from Hell, with tongue in our cheek. You know, historically, women were called witches when they had power. They were fearsome, you know, the midwives were often burned at the stake, you know, the independent women. So we decided we would hex Wall Street because we did have an economic analysis, you know. And we dressed up and I guess we were the first occupiers.
What's happening in West Virginia and many other coal mining states is the coal companies have found it more expedient just to chop the top off the mountain, you know, and throw all the shit they don't need down into the hollows between the mountains. So it's making it uninhabitable for many people and grotesquely ugly as far as, you know, when you think of mountain ranges, just imagine. No peaks, you know, it's just like. So anyway, this is Jimmy Weekly's story.
Right now I'm working on an album with my singing partner, Ina Mae Wool. I also host an acoustic series at the Two Moon Coffee House in Park Slope together with my friend Carol Ann Solabello. And we present other musicians as well as ourselves the second Friday of every month. Once I say that I want to do something, I find a way, you know. And it's not me doing it alone. I mean, I really do have support. I can get, you know, there are many people I can call on to help out with projects, to, you know, help move things forward. I like to collaborate. I really do.
Watch this and other Brooklyn Independent Television episodes online at breakartsmedia.org/BIT.